Hey you guys, welcome back to Libro review. I hope you're doing very nice, and I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. In today's video, I'm going to be recommending random books that I love, that have been eye-opening, that have boggled my mind more than I expected them to, and have made me think things I did not know I needed to think. This is part 5 of the random recommendation series. I'll link all the other parts in the description. You can check it out. I am so happy that you guys like this series. I love making this series. This is a series where I recommend books that I have recently read or I have not really recommended enough but are gems worth trying. All these books are amazing, therefore stick till the end. Let's begin. The first book was such a pleasant surprise for me. I had been so judgmental about it, but it completely proved me wrong. Turned out to be an amazing book that I'm going to recommend at least a million times, and today is the first time. And that book is 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Wiest. Oh my god, oh my god. I got this book because I saw it a lot on Instagram, and it is pretty hyped in a way that you see everyone reading this book, and so it made me think, what is it about this book? And I was like, I read so many self-help books. I don't think this book is going to give me something new or something different or something that I did not know, but I do read one non-fiction book every morning, and I wanted one book for a deep thought that will change the way I think for the morning. So I got this book, and it was not very expensive also. It was for around $250 when I got it. I really judged it, but when I received it, first of all, it is one of the most gorgeous books that I have. But second of all, I read 5 essays, and I was sold. This book is so amazing, so beginner friendly. It is beyond beginner friendly. It is very pointed. There are 101 essays as the title suggests, which means you don't really have to read the book like back to back. You don't have to keep turning the pages. You can choose the essays from the index and read those essays for that day. Your subconscious mind, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your social life, everything. But my most favorite part about the book is that it is so structured and it is so to the point. There are points given in each essay which will explain to you exactly what is needed to be explained in really precise words. Because of the structure and how precise and practical it is, it really hits your brain in the right spots, and you completely understand what has to be understood. So if you're looking for a book to read in the morning, or just have a non-fiction book with yourself that you read here and there, that you don't have to read from page to page, this is amazing. But apart from that also, like, honestly, I don't really care. I feel like this is one of those books that you must have in your bookshelf. No matter what your age is, no matter what your reading preferences, have this book. The next book that blew my mind is a fiction book, and it made me think so many things. And the book is The Sense of an Ending by Julian Barnes. It is a very small and a very thin book. I read this book in one sitting. It's a story of Tony Webster and a few of his friends, 2 or 3 of his friends. And Tony Webster is telling us the story of his friends in school, how they used to behave, what their motivation was. Now, these are the memories of Tony Webster that he is conveying to us in a form of a story. But as you move ahead, you realize that the story is not as simple as it sounds. One envelope from a lawyer completely changes Tony Webster's life and the entire perception of the memories that he has conveyed in the book. This book plays with the concepts of memory and time, and how both of these things are so dependent on our perception of things, how we look at it, how every memory may not be the truth, how we remember what we want to remember, and how that not only affects our life but also the life of other people around us. So beautiful, so simple, yet so deep. It is amazing. I was getting a little bored in the beginning of the book, but the writing style is so beautiful, and there are a few quotes or sentences that are so beautiful, so it kept me hooked. But then as soon as I was done with a few pages, like 20-30 pages, I also got hooked to the book. And with the beautiful writing and the beautiful concept, it was like this complete package of a fiction book. So if you want to read something deep, something really meaningful, something that will make you look back at your own life and question things, yet has a very simple story, and it may seem a little boring, but once you're done with the book, you will love it so much. this is your book. The next book is Live Yet Another Day by Nivedita Praveen. This is the story of a young couple, and it is set in recent times when the pandemic was going on and they're going ahead with their day-to-day life when a news hits them like a truck and everything suddenly changes, and the stress and the pain, everything sends our protagonist back into her old engineering college days. She is reminiscing the good old college days, how she met the love of her life, how she met the most beautiful people she has ever met in her own life. I call it a book of memories. Along with that, you also see how the couple is coping up with the pain in the present time. It is one of those books which I recommend you read chapter by chapter with like tea or coffee in the evening a little bit, because each chapter is like one chapter of a beautiful memory and it totally sends you back into your own college days. Like especially if you're an adult and you're not in college and you've like moved on with your life and you know life happens to you, you look back at your college days and you realize how much you have changed. This is the book that will send you back into that time. It did send me back into the time. Even though it's a very short book, I read it very slowly because I was experiencing all the memories in all the chapters and thinking about my own college days. For a little more information, here we have a trailer for you.
Remember the first time you buried your secret to yourself? What if you accidentally meet that person who's going to make you break the ice? An isolated city. A lifetime trip to Goa. What if you start believing that not all men are the same? But does all of this matter to destiny? Does fate ever care about our plans? My name is Vibha, and I'm about to rethink my entire life. Nivedita Praveen presents Live Yet Another Day. Available now on Amazon, Google Books, and Scribd.
So yes, if you want a very simple, easy to read, nice book, this is your book. The next book again that blew my mind. I'm telling you, all of these books have blown my mind so much and made me think so much. But this book has made me think in a very different way. Healthy Logic, which is evidence-based healthy aging by Graham C. McKenzie. I did not know this book is going to be so amazing. This is one of those books that is going to behave like a manual for my health for my whole life. There is a lot of information in here and it's all research based, evidence based. It is not the kind of book that you can just read and keep and forget about it, because our brain cannot store that much of information. But if you genuinely want to know how your body functions at every level, in every aspect of health, your sleep cycle, your exercise, your medication, the book dives really deep into medication, your nutrition, everything, every single aspect, then this is a book that you must have as a guide. The younger you are and you start taking care of your health, the better it is for you in the long run. Which is why when I got this book, I was very excited to read it. Honestly, I thought that this book will only tell me like what I should be doing and what I should not be doing. But this goes so much deeper than that, because this book is written by a pharmacist who has been a pharmacist for over 30 years. If you're the kind of person who loves scientific words and terms and everything, then this is going to be such a treat for you. Even if you are not into all of those things, I think that take your time with it as much as you need it. You must read this book at least once in your life. Get to know your body. It is so important. Our body is our biggest asset, and this book is going to help you take care of that asset. The next book, which I love so much, and I was like about to cry in so many places, and it again made me think so many things, is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. This book, oh my God, I really did not think that this book is going to be like a heartwarming book, but it so is. I also did not think that this book is going to be like one of those books that make you think, but it is. And I also did not think it's going to be one of those books which is like really funny, but it is. And I did not think it's going to be one of those books that's really emotional, but it is. When I started reading the book, I was like, okay, like yeah, okay, like till a few pages, and then like literally after 20 pages you cannot keep the book down. It is so huge and it is like prominently thick, and yet I read this book so fast. Not because I read it fast, not because it is like, you know, oh so small or something like that, because you just can't keep the book down once you start reading it. It is the story of a bank robber who is going to rob a bank, but something twisty happens because of which it becomes a hostage situation with 7 strangers. This sounds like this, you know, crime or thrillery kind of a book, but it's not that. It's the story of the 7 strangers. It's the story of people. It's a story of anxious people, very normal, day to day, living their life, experiencing life, anxious people. I cannot tell you more than that, but let me tell you how you feel when you read it. So beautiful, so funny in places, so easy to read, so beginner friendly, so emotional. Yet there are questions in the middle of chapters, in the middle of pages, which make you think things within yourself. It is a very thought-provoking book, written in a very comic, humorous, funny, nice way, and that is the beauty of this book, how it can convey all of those messages without being intense. How did the author do that? I love this book so much. You have to read this book. Last but not the least, I don't know why I have not recommended this book before. Like, I think I have not recommended it ever, but it has been so impactful in my life. And the book is Becoming by Michelle Obama. I've read this years ago. Why haven't I talked about it? When I did read it years back, I was 19, which is like much younger than now, and at that time it had a great impact on me. Needless to say, it's a story of Michelle Obama by Michelle Obama. It is very beautifully and simply written. It is very inspiring to read. If you have never read autobiographies before, if you want to start with them, even though this book is thick, but most of the autobiographies are, then this is an amazing book. Even if that is not the case, I feel like this is one of those books that you must read at least once, or even listen to it. I had a lot of fun reading it, but I would recommend that you listen to it in the voice of Michelle Obama, because that is like a whole other experience. I started listening to it in the morning once, but then I was not able to finish it. Whatever I listened to was so good, so I do recommend listening to it more than the book. But if you don't like audiobooks, then this, it's really good. Alrighty guys, that is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. The next video you're gonna watch is a Murakami guide for beginners, and I am so excited about that video, so do look out for it. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.